What attracted you to African music?
I've always loved African music. Probably the first time that I heard it was when I was in Ecuador, which is actually in Latin America. There's a very big African
Really?
population, or
Oh,
African
wow.
descent population
Okay.
in parts of Latin America. And I lived in this very small town called Esmeraldas, which is on the north coast. And most of the people there were mulatas, so a mixture of African from West Africa, some of them, pure West African descent, others mixed. And there was a slave ship that had come from there and on its way to Colombia, and it had crashed, and all these people had luckily liberated themselves and set up this new place.
Wow.
And the music they carried with them. And so there's a lot of call and response that you see typically in African music, and also cajon, which is a box instrument that comes from Latin America, but often the rhythms that they play on it are very African, and also marimbas.
And how long ago was this that you first experienced African music, or African sort of derived music?
That was back when I was 17, and I just kind of listened to it and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I kind of continued on that journey of I guess going towards places that were inspired by Africa. So then eventually I ended up meeting the Bangura family and started to learn African dance.
In Mali?
Actually in Sydney.
Okay.
Epizo Bangura came out first, and then his brother Sibo, and his brother Muhammad, then Sibo, and Sana. And I went to Africa with them, and went and studied more dance. And while I was there, I wanted to learn African music, so I bought my guitar and I started doing lessons. And I just loved it so much. And it was such a short time that first time. I think I was there for 6 weeks. And I felt like I'd just touched the tip of this iceberg of something that was quite amazing. So I came back home, saved up all my money, and I was going to go back. I thought, 2 months. But I ended up staying for 9 months.
Yeah.
And lived in this, I guess, shantytown suburb of Conakry called Matam, which is a suburb with a lot of ballets, a lot of music groups, and lived with this beautiful family that kind of adopted me into the fold.